October or slash Halloween, everybody. I am your host, Yengai, and welcome back to another Top 10 video. And today, we will be looking at some of the weirdest, scariest, and possibly most dangerous life forms that we may or may not know exist outside of our galaxy. And yes, I will be talking about some aliens that are talked about on documentaries. That means no predators, no xenomorphs, none of whatever other aliens you may have a reference. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and have a look at some of these hideous, terrifying, and just downright dangerous creatures. So let's go ahead. Oh, and before we jump on in, I want to clarify something. This is a review video, so what I'm doing is under fair use, and some of the audio, music, and the footage you are seeing is not mine. I did not animate this. This is under fair use, and it is originally created by National Geographic, Discovery Channel, and other respectable documentary channels. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead, get up on our spaceships, and let's discover the downright most dangerous, ugly, and most terrifying life forms out of this world. Number 1. On the planet of Ariel, there is a land between two extremes orbiting a red dwarf star. Here, you will see giant flower-like animals. And yes, these are animals. We have a predator that stalks the landscape across the muddy plain. That is about 9 feet tall and looks like a very extremely deformed ostrich. And it is the gulp hog. Okay, it may not be terrifying at first glance, but in this planet, this is the most dominant and largest predator in the planet. Well, when you rule the plains where you're between a giant hurricane and a wasteland that is absolutely frozen to the touch and will kill just about anything, you can definitely afford to eat just about anything and everything. Or whatever that thing is supposed to be, that is what it's supposed to be eating. I mean, come on, let's be honest. I mean, just listen to the sound. I mean, honestly, it sounds like it's choking on its own food. How the hell is this thing an apex predator? I would expect it to have, I don't know, razor-sharp teeth, deadly talons, poison maybe? But no. Then again, there is something even more successful and a lot more dangerous than this pathetic excuse of an alien ostrich. Number 2. On the same planet, Aurelia, where the Tumor ostrich lives, we have an aquatic creature, or should I say colony of creatures, that inhabited the waters and lagoons of Alaria, where it is normally eating microscopic plankton or other microbes that live in the water. But when food becomes scarce, they become a devastating killing machine. They swarm together, and, well, even the most apex predators would be wise to stay clear. I mean, they can literally go onto land, and if anything is close enough, it will actually sting, paralyzing it, and literally eat you from the inside out. I mean, just look at what this poor Tumor Ostrich is actually going through. And yes, you are seeing it being eaten alive. Now just picture this. You live on this planet. You so happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And you find yourself having a bite on your foot. And then you find yourself dead instantly. And then you're suddenly decaying bones. And if that's not bad enough, well, you know how there are certain parasites that infect ants and they turn into a weird-looking fungus? Well, the malaria in this world actually turns the body of its victims into something similar. I mean, there's actually a growth where it's dispersed more malaria into different lagoons, as you see here. Yeah, so romantic. Okay, let's move on. This is too scary. Number 3. Okay, here's a little more familiar, at the same time a little different. Here on a speculated moon, where the core of the moon is actually heated, while the outside, on the surface, is a mile of frozen ice, and underneath that is a very vast, lightless world, where everything here is pitch black, and the only life forms that could live here are bioluminescent and completely aquatic. A lot like what we see in Mariana Trenches, but at the same time, a little bit different. Where there's a bunch of bioluminescent fish, among them stalks a very deadly predator. And it is what I call the water walker. This is a cephalopod-like alien where it actually produces bioluminescence, and, well, it wraps its prey around just like an octopus, except it has tentacles in its tentacles. So you're basically looking at the alien animal equivalent to Dr. Octopus, or Doc Ock, if those of you who don't know who it is, but I'm getting a little off topic. I mean, we don't really see that it can actually be a dangerous predator, but try to imagine 1 mile underwater where the ice is completely above you, no escape, and you are face to face with this creature. Yeah, sleep tight, kiddies. Don't let the water walker grab you and drag you into the icy depths. Number 4. Okay, if you're a rock climber, this might be your worst nightmare. Here on a planet where just about everything is nothing but plateaus, mountains, and cliffside, there lives a predator that literally gets the jump on you, as well as everything, literally, hanging on for dear life. These are the creatures that have been unnamed by the documentary of Into the Universe by Stephen Hawking. These creatures are what I call the yellow cliff jumpers. These little demons have specialized gliding membranes that actually allow them to control their fall, and they have 2 tails that are very poisonous, and have a tendency to hunt in packs. I assume that it's paralysis because if one mistake is made out here, well, I can only safely assume that it's a long way down, so yeah, I feel really bad for you rock climbers out there, it is not looking too good if this thing were here on Earth. Thankfully, they are fictional and are far, far away. At least that's what I'd like to think. I don't know if you have stumbled upon the cliff jumper. Don't let it get the jump on you. Number 5. Here's a name that you might be familiar with on Darwin 4. This creature is known as the arrow tongue. The reason why he's here on the list is because 1, he is about the size of a T-Rex. 2, he possesses echolocation. Number 3, well, I think there might be a little secret weapon inside of his tongue. And I gotta say, it's probably not too pretty. I mean, we see that it is an ambush predator, but it didn't exactly catch its prey with any, well, success, but I can only guess that it probably has a specialized organ that allows it to both paralyze and pre-digest its victims alive from the inside out, and then slurps it up like a giant straw. Ugh. I can only imagine what a T-Rex would look like if it were doing that. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and move on. There are plenty of contenders here on Darwin 4. Number 6. Look in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a pterodactyl? Could it be Superman? Well, I'm afraid to say it, but it's none of those things. Not Superman, but, you know, at the same time, it could be all 3 in this world. Enter the flying Skewer. I mean, there are a couple reasons why he's on this list. 1, it's able to use sonar, just like the arrow tongue. Number 2, it is literally jet propulsed, using methane gas and various other chemicals or whatever to propel itself at very high speeds, and has a specialized lance that stabs its prey, absorbing whatever bodily fluids are inside. And they often hunt in pairs, so if you see one, there's probably a second one. Or maybe a third, depending on how unlucky you are. I mean, I swear, I think Darwin 4 is full of serial killers. Number 7. What do you get when you cross a flying squirrel with a praying mantis and a mosquito and give them a really bad attitude? Well, you would get this ferocious little devil. This is the scariest. Well, need I explain why? The reason why he's on here is, well, just about everything on this planet on Darwin 4, this creature too has a tendency to stab things. I honestly don't know what went wrong in the evolutionary tree, but here on Earth, we have fangs and claws, as well as poison and stinging things. But here, all we pretty much do is find more ways to stab people. And just like everything else on this planet, it has a very bad attitude. So, yeah, if you're planning on getting a flying squirrel, definitely stay away from this one. You don't want to go poking around in Darwin 4 trying to get this thing as a pet. More times out of 10, it will probably try to be poking you. and stabbing you, as well as maybe carve you to pieces, maybe stab you with its second throat, and drink whatever bodily fluids you have, and, well, maybe kill your family. So, yeah, I think we're done with Darwin 4. Let's go ahead and move to a much safer place. Maybe there's life on a new moon? Or blue one? Yeah, let's get out here. Moving on. Number 8. On the blue moon, which is orbiting a Jupiter-sized planet far, far away from our galaxy, we have a very dangerous form of life form that is very much like today's hornets, and as well as our ant colonies of Earth. Only they're about the size of hawks, and are extremely ferocious. Very, very agile flyers, even flying through dense forests. And they are the Blue Moon Stalkers. These terrible creatures often hunt in swarms. Yeah, you can imagine what that dangerous swarm looks like, as you may see when it's attacking this sky whale. First, the scouts find food in order to feed the colony. They mark you, and then return to the colony, bringing in a whole swarm of gnashing mandibles and possibly claws. Either way, you will be ripped to pieces while you're still alive. Yeah, not exactly a friendly way to go, but of course I can't exactly say they're the true apex predators. It's hunter becomes hunted, as you can see in this case coming up. Number 9. Okay, we all know the law of the jungle. It's eat or be eaten, which in the case of the stalker, you'll often get eaten a lot by the death trap. A creature that literally eats anything that falls into its sticky web of slime and tentacles. And, well, in the case of this poor blue stalker, well, you can safely say that the screams are pretty horrifying. I mean, well, just have a listen here. Ugh. Bathed in acid. And then having you scream, unable to move. Yeah, I think I'll take Darwin 4 now, please. Let's move on. And finally, at number 10, we have... So, when we think about intelligent life forms, what do we expect to find? A super advanced civilization? Humanoids? Well, some scientists expect there might be creatures that are equivalent to today's modern prehistoric cavemen. And, well, people wonder why should they look human? Well, that is where the Sapiens come in. The reason why they seem to be terrifying, even though at first glance they look a lot like fragile balloons holding sticks. I mean, quite frankly, if we wanted a hostile takeover, we could just pop their balloons and they'll be helpless. But, well, they don't seem to be the friendly type, so yeah, I'm sure they can hold their own. They're used to stabbing things. And, well, before we get any too deep into details, which are pretty well limited, these creatures are somewhat intelligent, they know how to survive, and yeah, they do not like cameras. Enough said. Let's get out of here before, that one's... Oh my god, why did I think this was a good idea?